reading from the book of Revelation. Then I saw a new heaven and a new earth, for the first heaven and the first earth had passed away, and the sea was no more. And I saw this holy city, the new Jerusalem, coming down out of heaven from God, prepared as a bride adorned for her husband. And I heard a loud voice from the throne saying, "See, the home of God is among mortals. He will dwell with them, they will be his peoples, and God himself will be with them. He will wipe every tear from their eyes, death will be no more, mourning and crying and pain will be no more, for the first things have passed away." And the one who was seated at the throne said, "See, I am making all things new." Also he said, "Write this, for these words are untrustworthy and untrue." Then he said to me, "It is done. I am the Alpha and the Omega, the beginning and the end. To the thirsty I will give water as a gift from the spring of the water of life. Those who conquer will inherit these things, and I will be their God, and they will be my children." The word of the Lord.
A reading from the Holy Gospel according to John. Do not let your hearts be troubled. You believe in God, believe also in me. My Father's house has many rooms. If that were not so, would I have told you that I am going there to prepare a place for you? And if I go and prepare a place for you, I will come back and take you to be with me, so that you also may be where I am. The Gospel of the Lord.
Someone at work recently told me that they have what they call a candy grandma, and she explained it as her grandma had little bowls of candy all around the house. And I was like, I have a candy grandma too. But we also had a lot of other grandmas. We had a crooked finger grandma, a Jason Momoa loving grandma, and a room temperature Mountain Dew in a bottle grandma.
We also had a Cubs loving grandma who used to take me in tow on bus trips to Wrigley Field, help me keep score. And one of her favorite stories to tell was how we saw the entire Cardinals team at Busch Stadium, and she had them sign my box score with our Cubs gear on.
We also had a New Year's Eve grandma who spent every December 31st of our childhood ensuring our glass of sparkling wine was never empty. We would first ring in the new year at 11 p.m. when the ball dropped at what was midnight for Dick Clark's Rockin' New Year's Eve, and then again an hour later collecting every pot and pan in the house to bang loudly outside at the real stroke of midnight.
We also had a traumatizing grandma who worked in cahoots with Papa to move a Pee Wee Herman dummy around the house, insisting that it was alive. Couple that with the constant removal of their teeth mid-sentence, improv tales that kept us up all night. But nothing was as traumatizing as sharing a bed with her and getting accidentally scratched on the leg by her hoof-like toenails. And then the jiggling of the laughter of the bed right next to us.
We had a pushover grandma. She would buy us cereal for every post-sleepover breakfast, only to take us through McDonald's drive-thru to get hash browns and McGriddles after only having to ask her one time.
Taylor having to ask her.
Never.
I would never. We had a Prius grandma who would drive her golden Toyota down the streets of Decatur and would never notice us waving at her from another car when we saw her on the road. She also insisted on never wearing a seatbelt and would just delicately loop one arm in the belt to give the illusion that she was wearing it. However, if you stepped foot in her car and didn't wear a seatbelt, you're the end of it.
No. Kind of board game grandma. Yes, she always cheated. No, she would never admit it.
Soap opera grandma who would give you the lowdown on 4 different soaps, spilling tea even though we don't watch, we never have, don't know a single character, but I was still invested every time she told me.
One of our favorite grandmas was entertainment grandma, the ultimate movie theater partner. She liked butter with a little side of popcorn. Little theater on the square attendee, but only after getting a bite to eat at one of Sullivan's very few restaurants. Conklin Dinner Theater, a family favorite, but we must have those front row tables, only to be dismissed last to go to the buffet.
And we had a grandma that refused to be called grandma. Most people that knew her as Goddess, the beautiful, perpetually 21-year-old with 5 kids, 6 grandkids, a live-in ex-husband, and her poodle at her feet at all times. A lot of things can be said about Goddess, but one thing you can't deny is that time spent with her was never boring, never a dull moment. She was a force to be reckoned with, and her absence will not go unnoticed. We like to think that she is wreaking havoc wherever she is right now. But one thing thing we do know is that she would be loving all of this attention. So in her honor, we are going to take on all of the roles that God is playing. So let us know if you want like a fake cup of coffee, or you want to have us humble you with the scare of Pee Wee Herman. We can help you guys do that. And we love you. 3. We love you, guys.